Hey guys, welcome to yet another Live with Mansi episode. Today as well, we have an amazing guest who will be joining us. Today we're going to talk about her journey into product management, some of the current trends which are following in this field, how can you get into product management, and just everything about products basically. So I would go ahead and welcome her. Her name is Nazuk, and she's joining us from the US. Hi Nazuk.
Hey Mansi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great.
Great. How is your Friday going?
Well,
It's Thursday. Sorry. Sorry, yeah. How was your Thursday?
Yeah, excited for Friday.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, firstly, for making the time and joining into this live, because we've been trying to do something since a long time, and it's just, yeah, finally it's happening. So I'm really happy about that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Also, we'll just start off by getting to know a little bit more about you. So if you can just let everybody know a little bit about your journey into product and what you've been up to, that'll be great.
Sure. So, hello everyone. I started my product journey, I want to say about 8+ years ago, and I started as a business analyst. And so a lot of people have this question, right? So which career to choose to pivot into product? So I started as a business analyst. I had a couple of initial roles, like as a business analyst on the product team, and then business systems analyst within the engineering org, to be specific. So systems analyst, business analyst type roles. And then true story is that I got inspired by the product manager on my team, and I then transitioned into product from a business analyst role. And since I have been working for very large companies, like mainly in the banking space, financial services, fintech space, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo here, pretty large banks, and then a couple of startups in the fintech space as well. And most recently, as you guys are familiar with, I run the page Product Career, and that is going on along with my full-time job as a product manager.
Let me tell you, it is such amazing information and to the point. And sometimes even I get inspired looking at the content that you post to understand how are you sort of giving all the crisp information through your carousels and your posts. So it is so awesome. Like, keep it going. And I know that it takes a lot to do this along with your full-time job, but really more power and kudos to you for doing this for everybody without having any ulterior motive or anything. But yeah, you're doing a great job, Nazuk. Like, I from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate what you're doing, because it's not easy showing up on social media. People might think it's easy, just put a picture on your story or just put some posts on Canva. It is not easy. A lot of thought and strategy and everything goes into it. So yeah, thank you so much. The next thing that sorry, go ahead, you're saying something.
Thank you. Not just because I think that's what PMs do. We get inspired from each other, just eye for observation. So I love you.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll go on to the next thing, which is around what are some of the current trends that you're seeing into the product space, especially because you come from the Western market. And in India, it is still more traditional. So can you tell us some of the insights that you see in the US? It could be BFSI sector, especially because you're working in banking, but anything in general you would like to point out for us?
Yeah, I would definitely say that there has been a much higher demand of the product manager role itself. So I'm here in Silicon Valley, but I see positions. So there's always, I think I'll speak for certain markets, right? Even within you, we have certain markets You have the, Washington, Seattle area, you have New York, and you have California, especially Silicon Valley. So I'm here in Silicon Valley, but I'm seeing over the years, with the generally here in Silicon Valley, at least the demand has gone up so much.
Mm.
But that also means that the competition has gone up.
It's higher.
It's a lot higher than, but I think it's better. The important part here is that companies are now, when I think back in when I was starting out, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago, it was more, I used to see a lot more companies were engineering driven, which means very engineering. But now here in Valley, the product led, which means is to have, even a startup with 50 people, their focus is to have at least, not as large as engineering, right? Small team of PMs.
Yeah.
So I would say the demand has gone up, and I think it's here to realize that this job, how important it is to have a product manager looking after the product, thinking about the customer needs, front and center of that. I think the demand's gonna just keep going up.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what is happening in India also, but definitely I think US is a larger market and a lot of innovative things happen there, and then we kind of replicate it or bring it back here. So I know you started as a business analyst, and this is one question that keeps popping up in a lot of our DMs. Like I know in mine and yours for sure. Like how do I get into product management? Where do I start out? So especially for people who've not done an MBA, so there is a contemplation between should I do an MBA or not, and if yes, where should I do it from? And the second aspect to this entire spectrum is to know if you have 4 or 5 years of experience, is it the right thing for you to get into an MBA or not to become a product manager? So what is your take on that? How does somebody with or without an MBA get into this particular field?
I want to hear your take on this.
So I've made an entire video on this as well. Yeah. But I'll tell you what is my take on it. Number one, if you know already that, hey, I want to get into product management, and if you have 4 or 5 years of experience, if you can build a story around that and get into a product-based company at an analyst role or a product owner role, great. You don't need to invest that much of time, because it's an opportunity cost also that you're losing out on, like for 2 years, right? And the trends are growing, the market is growing. Classroom doesn't teach you as much as what you would learn on the job, is what I completely believe. Although I did an MBA, but that's a separate thing. People who have an MBA or who are definitely sure that I want to do an MBA, I would highly urge them to get a specialization like an MS in product management. I know Buffalo State University has it. Certain international, big institutes have it. It's a higher investment in terms of the cost, but that's the kind of investment you're making for your future, right? Like, so the next 20 or 25 years. So that's what I personally feel about it. Like, if you're ready to invest, even if you have to take a loan or whatever, but if you're like 110% sure, like I want to do this, go to US or go to any other place where you have a specialization, is what I feel.
Yeah. So only thing, I completely agree with you. I have a engineering management, and at some point I contemplate, this myself, is it worth? And I decided to not do it. In fact, so I was already a product manager, and then like you said, right? Opportunity cost is so important. Either you're gonna full-time MBA, leave your job, so you get a loan, and then you don't get a salary. So, right? then okay, maybe that's short. Losing something on the short term, but then 10 years, 20 years down the road, is it going to get you that's return that I definitely long term, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not against education, but another interesting, you called out Buffalo State University, because I think in the US there's like maybe 1 or 2 colleges that specialize in product management. Otherwise it's generic. Yeah. I think there's one, Carnegie Mellon, actually.
Yeah, CMU has it.
Yeah.
I have a student with whom I've chatted, and he's from Buffalo State. He was working in India, and then he went to that particular university, and he's pursuing his master's, MS actually, not even MBA, MS in product management, and that's the only reason why I know of it. So there's some sort of specialization that you get, which will help you get into product management at the end of the day. So yeah, not a lot. I agree with you. There's not a lot of options available, but yeah.
Not like a 2-year degree. Like you can get like 8-week programs or something from college, certificate programs, things like that. But that's about it. Not a full 2 years. I mean, maybe just 1 or 2 colleges in the US so far. Yeah.
Well, also I have a bit of a take in this is like, somebody just asked this question, okay, like what's your take on upgrad kind of online programs? And it's so important to tackle this. Like, do you want to say something on that? Like, I'm like really controlling myself right now, but yeah, do you want to say something on that? What do you think about these certification programs, or people who pay, like in India, like 2-3 lakhs is a lot of money. Let's be honest about that, right? For a certification program. So what is your thought on having a certification, and then, you know, what do you think about it?
So here's a few, the way I think about it, like what season of meaning in your early career where you're an aspiring product manager, and you're just, meaning when you're aspiring, you can be in 2 categories. You can, or you can be in tech but in a different role. Let's say, for example, data analyst, but you're in core tech company, right?
Yeah.
So the way I think about it is early exposure to tech industry. Don't jump into an expensive course right away. Just don't. It's not gonna get you that's what I think. It's not these courses are expensive, but unless you have the base for it, the base knowledge, base understanding of it, it's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah.
And plus, with the institutions, I think it's another important thing to note is, you know, let's say I go up at Stanford. I might get the Stanford, you know, certificate, but my success, it's dependent on me. Meaning the best teaching, of course, they're going to give me the certificate, but there's not like a personal attention, if you will, right? So the key thing, you know, going to big institutions, it's something to keep in mind. You have to have early careers. I think one thing that can really help them is to be around a community of people who are trying to do the same thing and learn together. There will be a learning over time with this. No, makes sense. Makes complete sense with what you just explained, and which is where like communities like mine and yours come into picture. So I personally believe that it's about the mindset, like the product mindset is what you need to develop, which can be done through mentoring, through case studies, through being a part of a community. These are the new ways of learning, and nowadays you want a feeling of belongingness, you know, like a mastermind or a community feeling, if that makes sense. And that's what my initiative is as well. And I think you are also doing something similar with Product Career. So for me as well, if somebody comes and asks, why should I go for a program? I say, don't go for it. If you want to learn the basics, it's a structured way to go for the course. But then if you want a job, I would highly urge you to go for a mentorship. Talk to people, understand their perspectives. Follow people who are in the industry for like 10, 20 years, especially abroad, because in India, I'm not demeaning it, but it's just that I have not found somebody who's very inspiring, like honestly. So listen to people who you get inspired by, listen to podcasts, you know, follow them on different platforms, and that's the only way to learn. And I know that you put in a lot of efforts on your newsletters, on a monthly basis. So you want to probably talk a little bit about what are your initiatives and what are you doing in your community? So with Product Career, I want to say for inspiring product is my Instagram page. You know, I don't think of Instagram like a social. I really try to treat it as like an educational platform. Like all of my posts on there, they're not meant for the algorithm, and they're more meant for the people. I try, you know, this because I, as a a business owner, as an influencer, whatever, right? On Instagram, there are you need to make your post, rise up to the, sure it has a reach and hashtags, all kind of that stuff. I think that we have to do that at some level, but I try really hard to keep them like more, we say more user friendly, more that people can actually get up that, even if it doesn't grow it at that page.
Yeah.
So for inspiring product managers, definitely the page, but for new product managers, people who become a new product manager, like you mentioned, right? Mindset is so important. And that's where my comes. That's all I have right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Any last thoughts before we wrap up this live?
I would say, so for the I'm just gonna say join the communities if you are in a or a PM ready or thinking about a PM career. You have a great community, and I would encourage people to join, be part of the community, and get learning. At least get started with that. Then I'm sure everybody makes the way somewhere or the other. They'll crack the make their path. So definitely join the community.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much. I really appreciate it, and we definitely need to do something soon again. Cool. Awesome. Take care.